First, I'd like to say that I know that this program was planned for February, and for some reason, which I think was the weather, it couldn't happen. And I like to think that maybe that was God's way of letting us know that Black history can't be done in a month's time. Amen. That we have to continue with it each and every day, because many of our children will be learning history, but they won't learn a lot of Black history. They won't learn, for example, all of the stuff, the great things, accomplishments of a Dr. Justine Washington in Augusta, Georgia, or a Virginia Ruth Crawford in Augusta, Georgia. So it is our duty to teach these things every day. We have to keep our history alive. Today we're going to be talking about Martin Luther King Jr., who was born January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and I think that most of you are probably already aware of that. But Martin Luther King was a preacher in Montgomery, Alabama, at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, when in 1954 we had two things to happen. We had the Brown versus the Board of Education decision to come down, which seriously impacted the schools. And then in December, we had Rosa Parks, who was tired and didn't want to give up her seat, and decided that she would just remain there, and got arrested, and this outraged the Montgomery community, and it was actually the beginning of the civil rights movement. They went to Martin Luther King, who was one of the pastors there in Montgomery, and he at first, like Moses, you remember when God called Moses, Moses said, "Not me, I've got a speech impediment, try somebody else." And Martin Luther King said, "No, I can't do that. I'm just starting a family, just getting established here. Let somebody do that who's been around for a while." And they kept at him, of course, because you know that God knows who he wants to be in charge. So after they kept at him for a while, he decided that he would go ahead and do what he could for Miss Rosa Parks, which grew into a national movement. Now, he had been influenced by Dr. Mordecai Johnson. Some of you may remember him. I have only vague memories of seeing him on a black and white screen when I was a little girl. But Dr. King heard Dr. Johnson talk about nonviolence, and he decided that he would try to study nonviolence, and so he did.